What happens to your body after alcohol enters your bloodstream? Your brain starts changing. Your reaction time can slow down. Your judgment can become less reliable. Your stomach can become irritated. And while you may feel more relaxed, your body is actually processing a powerful chemical. But that's only the beginning. What happens next inside your brain, liver, heart, and nervous system? The answer is more complicated than you might think. The story begins in your digestive system. When alcohol is swallowed, some of it can be absorbed through the stomach. But most alcohol absorption happens in the small intestine. From there, alcohol enters the bloodstream. And once it's in the blood, it can travel throughout the body. Unlike many foods, alcohol doesn't need to be completely digested before it can be absorbed. That's one reason its effects can spread relatively quickly. But there's one organ that becomes especially important: the brain. Alcohol changes the way nerve cells communicate with each other. It affects several chemical signaling systems inside the brain. One important effect is that it can increase inhibitory signaling, which slows down certain brain activity. At the same time, alcohol can interfere with excitatory signaling. The result? The brain's normal communication becomes disrupted, and this can affect judgment, attention, coordination, reaction time, and memory. That's why someone may feel more confident or less cautious after drinking. The feeling itself doesn't mean the brain is performing better. In many situations, the brain's normal control systems are actually being impaired. As alcohol levels rise, coordination can become worse. Reaction times can become slower. Balance can be affected. Speech may become less clear. And decision-making can become increasingly unreliable. At very high levels, alcohol can interfere with brain functions that are essential for staying conscious and maintaining normal breathing. That's when alcohol poisoning can become a medical emergency. But the brain isn't the only organ affected. Alcohol can also influence the cardiovascular system. It can change blood vessel activity and may temporarily increase heart rate in some people. Blood pressure can also change. These effects don't mean the cardiovascular system is becoming stronger. They're simply signs that alcohol is affecting normal body regulation. Now let's move to the stomach. Alcohol can irritate the lining of the digestive tract. That irritation may contribute to nausea, stomach discomfort, and vomiting. And because alcohol enters the bloodstream, its effects don't stop in the digestive system. The chemical is now circulating throughout the body. Then we reach one of the body's most important processing organs, the liver. The liver does much of the work involved in breaking alcohol down. Special enzymes convert alcohol into other chemicals. One important intermediate is called acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde is then broken down further into acetate, which the body can process. But here's something important. The liver has a limited capacity to process alcohol. It cannot simply make alcohol disappear instantly. While alcohol remains in the bloodstream, it can continue affecting the brain and other organs. Alcohol can also affect the body's water balance. It can interfere with a hormone involved in controlling how much water the kidneys conserve. As a result, more water may be lost through urine. This can contribute to dehydration. And dehydration can make a person feel thirsty, tired, dizzy, or generally unwell. But there's another surprising effect: sleep. Alcohol can make some people feel sleepy. But feeling sleepy isn't the same thing as getting normal, healthy sleep. Alcohol can change the structure of sleep and disrupt normal sleep patterns, so someone might fall asleep more easily, while still experiencing poorer quality sleep. And then there's memory. Your brain needs properly functioning neural networks to create and store new memories. When alcohol significantly disrupts these networks, memory formation can become impaired. At very high levels of intoxication, a person can experience gaps in memory about events that happened while they were intoxicated. This doesn't necessarily mean the memory is hidden somewhere in the brain. It can mean that the memory was never properly formed in the first place. Now here's where the story becomes even more important. The effects of alcohol aren't limited to one night. Repeated heavy alcohol use over time can increase the risk of problems involving the liver, heart, digestive system, immune system, and brain. It can also increase the risk of several diseases. And there's another reason scientists pay particular attention to alcohol exposure in young people. The brain continues developing throughout adolescence and into early adulthood. So alcohol exposure during this period can be especially concerning. So let's put everything together. What happens after alcohol enters the body? It enters the bloodstream. It reaches the brain. It changes communication between nerve cells. It can affect judgment, attention, coordination, reaction time, and memory. It can irritate the digestive system. The liver works to break it down. It can affect the body's water balance, and it can interfere with normal sleep. Alcohol isn't simply a drink passing through the body. It's a biologically active chemical that interacts with multiple systems at the same time. And here's another important point. People don't all respond to alcohol in exactly the same way. Its effects can vary depending on many factors, including how much alcohol enters the bloodstream, how quickly it enters, individual biology, medications, and other health factors. So there isn't one universal experience that applies perfectly to everyone. The human body is an incredibly complex system, and when a chemical changes one part of that system, the effects can spread far beyond where that chemical first entered. So the next time you hear that alcohol only affects how someone feels, remember, its effects can reach the brain, heart, stomach, liver, kidneys, immune system, and even sleep. Understanding what happens inside the body isn't about fear. It's about understanding biology. Because sometimes, the most fascinating science is happening inside us, and we don't even see it.